This is the famous base set Squirtle. No, not everyone would consider it famous, but it's definitely famous to me. And today, we're going to talk about my favorite card. This card was made by the famous Pokemon card artist, Mitsuhiro Arita, which is, in fact, the same artist that made the base set Charizard. So, when you hold this, you can just think that you're holding a card made by the same artist that made a $30,000 card. It's kind of crazy. The name for Squirtle in Japan is Zenigame. Zeni meaning coin, and game meaning turtle. So this just means the money turtle, because the people think that Squirtle's shell looks like the coin. It was basically destined to be a collectible before the card even came into the game. One of the most famous terms with base set cards is the term shadowless. Shadowless cards were from an earlier print and are way more rare because there were less of them made. And as you can see, this is where the shadow would be, and this is where the shadow is, because the Squirtle is not shadowless. It's much easier to see on this Charmander, where the shadow is right there. And if this was shadowless, this part of the card would look like this part of the card. So as you can see, these are not shadowless. And these cards from my dad's old collection are not shadowless. So this is still one of my favorite Squirtles. Bet you didn't know that in the earlier days of Pokemon, cards originally had much lower HP levels. As you can see with this Squirtle, he only had 40 HP. This modern Squirtle has 60 HP. Lower HP levels were much more powerful back in the day. And doing 10 HP to another Pokemon was like a death sentence, especially with Squirtle's main attack, which as you can see here is Bubble. I really like the bubbles on this art too. This Squirtle, including this Charmander, is from one of the most famous sets in the history of Pokemon, Base Set. Base Set was the first Pokemon set ever released. As you can see here by the date, 1995, 1996, 1998. These are base set cards, which they have their distinguished art. As you can see, the clear apparent difference. This one looks much, much older, much more modern. Base set has become one of the most famous sets in the history of Pokemon because it's one of the first sets of Pokemon released, and it's much rarer than all the other cards. Something kind of crazy is this card is actually kept in pretty good condition, and as I said earlier, this is from my dad's collection, and I'm surprised it was pretty good. Of course, I put it in the sleeve in the top loader, but my dad did a pretty good job with this, unlike me whenever I'm given a Squirtle